All right, so
They're
we've
back.
yes, we've just had a very brief reunion with our good friend Wendle Kettlewhistle from Vyrn's Run in a cart full of refugees who apparently have been heading towards Lyria after the Court of the Seven has attacked Vyrn's Run.
Yeah, my first question to Wendell, seeing how he's here, I assume that the attack went in favor of the court.
Says, well, he gesticulates around to the 20 some odd people in the cart,
Yeah,
and they were basically the ones who were able to. Needless to say, it's probably not their proudest moment that they are the ones who effectively deserted the Vern's run in its hour of need and that sort of thing. But they were the ones who were effectively intelligent enough to get out of the town before this siege happened.
so Wendell doesn't really know how badly that went.
It looked rather hopeless compared to the army that they were sending,
Alrighty then.
and that's really all they know. Apart from that, the rest of them have been well, basically making their way here as quickly as they could in the car, basically the only cart they could get a hold of,
Yeah.
which they were basically leaving in the dead of night. And basically, as far as we can, he says basically he's going or explain what's happening, and Wendell basically used his magic to basically charm some guards into opening the gates for them and letting them out in the direction of Lyria, and they were basically getting away with what little provisions they could basically carry on them and what other belongings they could have.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they're looking malnourished because it's probably not enough to get them to what is basically, well, a month's travel by on foot. And as we remember, leaving Vyrn's Run, the road to here is from there is no longer quite as safe as it once was.
No, we did eliminate a lot of the threats.
We did. We also saw the fact that at least a few bridges were out, and also that a good number of the possible communities they could have stopped in on the way here no longer exist.
I assume that the bridges would have been repaired. That was,
That
before.
was a couple of months ago, yes. Actually, it was almost exactly 3 months ago that we set out
Yeah.
by this point. He does say a season has gone by, and apparently, as soon as the weather was permitting, the court's army, which was indeed quite a large one, marched towards Vern's Run and attacked, and they were able to get out just ahead of time.
Well, I guess our break from them is over.
I say, I think we should get these people to Lyria
Yep.
so we can get them some food and some rest. And that sounds like we have a lot to discuss.
All right. I asked the horses to start walking towards Lyria, please.
Yep, might as well milk your charm for all it's worth.
Yeah. I said don't use it very often.
Yeah. This is actually very impressing everyone on for Vern's Run because unlike the people of Lyria, they aren't as accustomed to seeing magic, especially not on some of the scales that we've been throwing around in the past minute or so.
Yeah. Yeah, we did throw around a lot of high level stuff.
Yeah. Even the charm is impressive. Even the magic that's letting you talk to and convince these animals to follow obediently is impressive enough.
They don't know it's a charm.
No, they know it's magic though.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like the spell that is whatever magic is being used here, they don't understand it, but it's impressing them.
Yeah. Cool.
All right,
Well,
it's going to take us the better part of an hour to get the cart and all these people into the suburban area of Lyria. We basically take them to what is known as Hestia's Homely House, which is a hostel for
yeah.
weary travelers, and also one of the temples on the outside of the main city of Lyria, which is dedicated to the goddess Hestia, who is basically a goddess of home and hearth.
All right. Well, Wendell's not staying there. He's staying with us.
Yes, he just did. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, no, this is not the temple you went to before and got ripped off at. This is another one.
Yeah, well, they better not rip us off now, that's for sure.
Well, no, this is like I said,
Yeah, I know, I know.
this is not that one.
Okay. So, well,
Uh,
once they get situated, say, okay, Wendell, come with us, and we're gonna get you a really big meal.
and then we're going to have to get you to tell your story to the powers that be in Lyria.
Yeah. So we'll get on our brooms, fly to our hotel,
Yeah.
get him a big meal and something to drink, and chat with him, and say,
Yes.
well, we will probably going to need to go see the Archmage.
And the council.
Well, them too, I guess.
It's probably going to be a full meeting of everyone in Lyria, including who can respond to this. And that will probably include us, I say.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is we go to our hotels. I'm gonna stop by the guards here and request if they don't mind sending a runner. Um, I need to send a message to the Archmage.
All right. There's going to be a verbal or written message. Is basically the one thing they want to know.
I was gonna write it down.
Okay, so you write down. What do you write down?
Write down. Vyrn's run attacked by the Court of the Seven. Refugees are now uh, streaming into the southern part of the city. Oh, sorry, northern part of the city.
Yeah,
Uh, we have an eyewitness to the account, and we'd like to have a meeting. So
we
we
need to talk.
need to talk.
Yeah. All right. So that message obviously is going to get run off quite quickly.
Yep.
Wendell is quite impressed that in the in the months that since he's last seen us that we've basically seemed to more or less have come quite up in the world both as wizards and we're clearly for all intents and purposes almost dictating terms here in a few in some ways almost like we're definitely people of importance in the city of Lyria now.
Well, what level were we when left Vyrn's run? 5?
Yes, I think so.
Well, that was a few levels ago.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I couldn't turn into a giant ape or a giant eagle then.
Yes, but he's also impressed by the fact that we seem to have a bit of clout and authority in the city.
Yeah, a bit of respect anyway.
Yes. So, we get him a meal.
Yep.
Needless to say, news travels quite quickly in Lyria, especially after recent events. So, we're not the only ones who are going to be learning of this
Yeah.
in short order.
Oh, I'm sure that respite from the panic of the dragon is now going to be replaced by this.
Well, it's not, I hate to say it, but it's not going to be on the same scale.
Oh no, it's not like
A
we're gonna.
dragon knocking on Lyria's doorsteps and literally flying to town and ripping one of their most prized artifacts off of the top of their tower is one thing. Uh, Lyria's ancestral enemy attacking a distant town is cause for concern, but not on that level.
Yeah.
It, I know it's not going to paint the best picture necessarily the people of Lyria, but
Yeah.
there it is.
Well, it's people in general are like that.
Yeah,
It's not in their backyard.
no. This won't have the same impact. This is going to probably be closer to concern and interest rather than paranoia and mass hysteria.
Oh
We're
well.
probably not going to be asked to keep this one under our hat because we can't.
Yeah. Don't care anyway.
So around the time that Wendell is basically finished his meal and we're just talking to him, the messenger that you basically sent
Yep.
into the inner city comes into the Crested Kingfisher and comes over to us and it says the Archmage and the council would like request your request an audience at the council chambers with you and your witness at the earliest convenience.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Again, this is all rather impressive for Wendell. We did we do know that he spent time here before
Yep.
moving to Vyrn's Run. He basically, for all intents and purposes, was trained here at the academy
Yep.
but decided to settle down to a quiet life in Vyrn's Run as opposed to the busy life in the city or the life of an adventurer. But this is all quite impressive. The fact that in the three, basically, for all intents and purposes, just over 3 months since we last saw him,
Yep.
we are now individuals of such importance.
Yeah. Not that we care, but yeah. All right.
Oh, it's like, hmm, because you're sending off messages to the Archmage and getting responses and are getting meetings set up with him and the Council of Lyria.
Yeah, I suppose.
Needless to say, that looks impressive from his point of view.
Yeah. What level was he? Three?
He's third level, yeah. Probably hasn't gone up any levels either.
No.
No.
Yeah, we can throw around a bit more than he can, I guess, at this point.
So the three of us are led into the Lyrian council chambers. We've been here a few times.
Yeah.
The last time was not too long ago when we were brought here to basically when we volunteered with the other adventurers to see to the problem of the dragon. And here we are basically not even a month later
Yeah. Getting
and
tired of seeing us.
uh, seem to be dealing with yet another problem.
How is Wendell handling the spotlight? Because he's basically going to be.
He's he's bearing it all quite well considering what's going on, but he is definitely in a state of awe and possibly a little bit of a state of shock.
Okay, well, just because he's already told us everything, I'm going to just tell him to relax and I will fill in the council what's going on and Vern's run for the best that he knew.
Yeah. All right. So in the council chambers, we see well, basically the three heads that we recognize: the Archmage Amadeus Malzra,
Yep,
the Lady Noelle, who's one of the speakers on the council,
yep,
and the captain of the White, basically the commander of the White Knights of Lyria,
yep,
the Dragonborn Tamias.
yep. And a bunch of other people.
There are others present as well, but those are the main three we recognize.
Yeah,
We also realize this means that basically the three pillars that hold up the three primary forces that represent the powers that be in Lyria are all attending this meeting.
yeah,
Wendell is holding together pretty well, but it's not lost on him that this is all coming together and that he's going to have to play a part in all this somehow.
and I whisper in his ear, "Don't worry, Wendell. You can stay here."
Well, he is in the chamber, obviously. They
Yeah,
probably will have questions for him, you know.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, uh, Malzra says, well, it seems you have dire news to bring to our attention.
yep.
So the Lady Noelle says, we would hear the evidence that your witness has brought all this way to tell us.
Is Wendell up to it, or does he want me to do it?
I will. He seems to be up to it.
All right, go for it.
So, to the best of his abilities, he begins speaking, and you do realize he is a relatively, again, well spoken and charismatic individual. He does run a shop,
Yeah,
and he is used to suspect to dealing with this sort of situation a bit.
all right.
He begins to recount everything, which is the obviously the siege of and the possible occupation of Vyrn's Run.
Yeah,
It does he obviously can't point out that he doesn't actually know the results of the inevitable battle that occurred after he and the other refugees fled.
yeah, but this is, I mean, how many people in this place can cast scry? Right
Well,
in this very room, there's two.
yes. Noel says, Master Malzra, we need to confirm this.
Yeah,
All right, Malzra begins the process of casting a spell that we recognize as, well, I recognize as scrying.
He uses a crystal ball, right?
Just for simplicity's sake, yes, we'll say he uses the crystal ball version.
All right.
He takes it out from what you assume is his own personal bag of holding,
Yeah.
or a component pouch with a similar enchantment upon it, and begins casting the spell. 10 minutes goes by because scrying is not a ritual spell but has a 10-minute casting time. During which time, everyone is basically proverbially holding their breath, except for Wendell, who's probably hyperventilating.
Yeah. I pat him on the back. Relax, you're doing great.
And something happens that we have never seen in our entire time here that we've known the Archmage.
What's that?
There is a sharp intake of breath. So the way scrying works is he's the only one who sees anything here. They have the scrying pool at the academy, which works differently. It has other people
Okay.
can stand around to see it. But
Yeah.
the way the spell normally works is he's the only one who's seeing what's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
There is a sharp intake of breath as his spell finishes, and he says, yeah, a few moments, like heartbeats later, he says, "The city of Vyrn's Run has fallen to the Court of the Seven and has been fully occupied."
Yeah.
He says, "There are," it says, there's great damage. It says, and the court's regalia and banners have been placed there, and their troops are patrolling the streets. And it is clearly under their rule. I also see sorcerers walking about the streets in their livery.
Yeah.
Multiple sorcerers. This is an exceptionally well organized and well supplied occupation. Which the spell ends shortly after that. He was
Yep.
scrying on the location, so he can basically, as far as purposes, getting a bird's eye view, like I sometimes have done with clairvoyance. So he
Yeah.
can't make out too much detail because he's just scrying on the location,
Yeah.
not a specific person. He says, it says yes. It says the worst possible outcome has occurred for the people of Vyrn's Run. They are now under the thrall of Ulrich's.
Yep.
Lady Noel says, "This is grave news indeed." It says, "Your," it says, "friend must be tired." It says, "Please see him to somewhere where he can rest." It says, "While the council will discuss what our current course of action must be."
I stick in my hand.
All right, you stick your hand up.
Yep. I acknowledge that I'm there.
Yes.
Yep. I said, we're gonna be going to Vern's Run.
There, that does basically, well, for all intents and purposes, to use another Tolkien reference, it has the same effect on the council chambers here as Frodo volunteering to take the ring to Mordor.
Hopefully we're a little bit more confident.
Why not?
I know he did well, but
What?
I said, oh, he did well, but
You were hoping to be a bit more confident, you said?
competent.
Oh, competent. But that's the sort of effect. It basically comes down to the fact that we are probably going to end up being, well, we might have been kind of asked, but it's not really a surprise that we're volunteering, but there's definitely had a definite impact on.
Well, I'm not volunteering. I'm saying I'm going there and dealing with this.
Yes, but we know what you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, for the moment at the very least, nothing seems to be happening right away.
Well, no, I mean I'm gonna just hop off,
Yeah. So basically, at this point, we're basically being escorted out of the council chambers so they can discuss what the best course of action is, despite your statement.
They can do whatever they want to do. So I'll take Wendell back to our hotel.
Yes.
Inn, sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna get him his own room, basically.
Uh, unless he wants to bunk with us.
I think well, he's probably going. I'm not gonna roll for this because there's two ways of thinking about this. He might want to stay near someone at this point, to safety numbers. Again, he's in one of the most well fortified cities in the world,
Might just want company.
and he also might want his own space to process things. I'm gonna roll. Let's see.
Yeah, that true. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, he's fine. It doesn't take him too. He's fine staying with us. It doesn't take him too long to pass out, though. He's exhausted.
Got a bed that we never use.
Yeah. All right, which leaves us at the moment, who are still up relatively early for us to discuss things.
Well, you know what I want to do, which means
Yes,
we need one more spell.
yes, unless we are planning on flying to Lyria, sorry, to Vyrn's Run, which even on our broomsticks will take some time
No, we're not going to do that because I know we know the runes for
for a
tele.
teleportation circle. Yes,
As long as it's still active, we can get there in seconds.
yes. Well, we are probably going to need to pick that spell up at some point.
Yeah, it's useful. So that's what we
My main concern is
what
how effective are we going to be against an occupying army?
I think we should go find out. Come on,
This
sounds
is,
fun.
it says, all right, I know we just dealt with a dragon.
Yeah, how much worse could it be than a dragon?
I suspect it could be a great deal worse.
Yeah. Oh, well, we got lots of spells. We've got, you know, very
Yes, we have a
combat.
great number of advantages on our side. Unfortunately, it's just we're up against overwhelming numbers.
Well,
Let's not forget that the main thing that did Iluvyanka in was the fact that she was outnumbered.
yeah. Well, to coin a phrase from one of my favorite creatures to turn into, I think guerrilla tactics will do us well.
Yes. Well, at the very least, it doesn't seem like we're going to have to make a decision tonight.
Well, I've already made my mind up, so this doesn't matter.
Yes.
And by the way, you're coming with me.
I fully expect that we're going to be involved somehow in dealing with this.
No, 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 I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about Lyria. By the
Yeah.
time they get their proverbial butts in gear and send an army, I mean, Burns Run is just going to be, thoroughly occupied and fortified, and it's just right now it's relatively fresh.
I still think we do need to wait and see what the response is going to be in the morning.
All right, well, we're not going to go right now. We need the spell for starters.
Yes. All right. So, in short order, I think we come to the conclusion it's a good idea to turn in early today to get some rest and get an early
Sure.
start in the morning.
Okay.
All right. Yes. So, the morning comes.
Yep.
Wendell is still asleep, and I think we should just leave him sleep in and rest.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go get a meal, and then I'll leave us a few coins with the what's her name again? Uh,
Cathra?
Cathra, and let her know that Wendell will be coming down at some point when he wakes up,
Yeah.
and this is for his breakfast and whatever.
Yes. All right.
And then,
I assume we're going to head out.
yeah, gonna head over to the academy and try and find Malzra.
All right. It doesn't take too long for us to flag down a messenger, and we are escorted for only the second time, in as far as I'm aware, in our entire time in Lyria, to Maldra's private quarters.
Yep.
Yeah. He does not look like he got much sleep last night.
Yeah. Bureaucracy.
Mhm.
You have my sympathy.
But he is not surprised to see us.
Yeah. I, I will
He invites
inform
us to
him.
take a seat and actually has offers us some tea.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you. And I want to let him know that we know something that we haven't told anybody yet. And the only reason why we're going to tell you is because we really like you and we trust you. That bit of knowledge is near, I mean, really near, just outside the walls of Vyrn's Run is a ruin. And in there, the teleportation circle that's active.
Yes. You have somewhere in all of your belongings, if I remember correctly, the runic sigils necessary
Yeah,
for the coordinates for that circle written down.
yeah. I said, so the second we can get some preparation done as far as, prisoner, well, food and rations, that sort of stuff. Maybe a few other things, and acquire the spell teleportation circle. Uh, we are going there.
Yes, and he says he's going to fill us in on what has been decided so far
Yep.
in the council's deliberations, which is not much. And he says
Fine.
full-scale response on the part of Lyria will take time to put together and even longer to reach Vern's Run, even with magical assistance.
Yep.
An additional concern, the fact is, he says, the council may not even be willing to send an armed response to Vern's Run at this time.
Well, yeah.
The recent dragon attack has left Lyria rather vulnerable, and even though repairs are underway, it will still take time for the city to be back into its former glory, and even reinstalling the artillery economy is taking more time than we had hoped.
Well, the dragon did a bunch of damage.
Yeah,
I
and
understand.
then says there is also the matter of the Legion of the Iron Fist, which still remains on Lyria's doorstep. And if one army invaded at the start of spring, we're even more concerned about this one.
Yeah.
This, taking all these facts into account, it is unlikely that we will be sending a response to Vern's Run anytime soon, much to the chagrin of Vern's Run's people. As such, once again, I am afraid I must ask the two of you to be Lyria's hope and response.
Well, you don't have to ask because I've already told you I'm going.
Says, says in exchange for the coordinates of that circle,
Hmm.
says I am going to teach both of you the teleportation circle spell, and I'm
Yep.
going to see that you are supplied with enough of the material components to cast the spell several times.
Great.
Says after which time I'm I suggest you prepare yourselves with however best you can,
Yep.
and then as soon as you are able to, I request that you make your first journey through a teleportation circle on your own power towards Vern's Run. It says once there, it'll take all the magic, intelligence, and guile you can conjure up to deal with the court. It says
Well,
I've
you're
learned a
not.
few more things
No, sorry. Go ahead.
about what the occupying force in Vern's Run. The livery that has been placed there is not just of the Court of the Seven itself, but of one of its branches. It says, I've scryed the city a few more times to get a close look. I am not certain, but I believe the leader of this occupation may be one of the ruling seven, one of the lords and ladies of the court.
Well, that's new for us.
Says, the branch of the court in question, which has occupied the city, is the wild magic branch of the court.
Okay.
Says, given the nature of that, I cannot advise you in any way of what to expect.
Okay, we've had experience with wild magic sorcerers.
Says,
Also,
yes.
while we're on the Isle of Fog, I mean, it was.
He also knows we're also referring to Bree. He says, but this will be very different.
Yep. And so one of the reasons why I want to go, and one of the reasons why I'm actually quite glad, which sounds kind of weird, I know, that there's not going to be an official response from Lyria, is the only way this is going to work is through guerrilla warfare, hit and run, and being able to hide. And you can't hide a force. And the more people involved in this, the greater chance that we're going to get found. And we're used to working as a team.
Yes.
So,
And the two of you know Vyrn's Run better than anyone else in this city, with the possible exception of Aldrich.
yeah, we've been there. We've scoured the place for various problems. And now we know of lots of little hidey holes.
And now we seem to be going back to deal with one more problem.
Yeah. Like I said, we had the winter off. It's time to, and this may sound a little bit morbid or whatever, but I have a few more emblems I need to collect.
I say, it's good that you're starting to realize that sounds morbid.
Eh, it's an emblem. It's not like fingers or ears or something. It's just emblems.
Collecting trophies is still a little creepy. You come to
Whatever.
the victims.
I'm
Anyway,
fine.
despite this fact, the knowledge has come to the conclusion that what's best for the people of Vern's Run at the moment is our plan. Despite the fact that he does expect he's going to probably try and convince the people of Lyria to send a response at some point, which is why he wants a copy of the sigils to that teleportation circle.
My only request is that you give us at least a few days or a little longer, even maybe. We can contact you by sending. We need to find out the lay of the land. We need to do a lot of reconnaissance even before we do anything ourselves. We need to know what kind of forces we're dealing with, what kind of patrols they have, how many sorcerers there are. I mean, I'm not going in there just to bang on the door and get blown up.
Yes.
So before anyone else goes through that circle, we need to talk.
All right. Well, he's fairly certain it won't be difficult for that level of a delay to occur. He's fairly certain it's going to be longer than that.
All right, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Because too many people running around is just going to alert them.
All right. Since that seems to be the plan at the moment,
Yep.
the Archmage seems to have been prepared for this. Again, opens the page to his spellbook where the teleportation circle is and provides us with the materials to copy it down and add it to our spellbook.
The what's the materials for that to
The,
cast?
the materials for teleportation circle are, I'm just going to double check, but I'm fairly certain it's gem infused chalk.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah.
And how many uses did he give us?
He's managed to set it aside in a small box. Yeah. 300 gold pieces worth of the rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems. And it's a 50 GP dose of it that's required for the spell.
Mhm.
So we have six uses in total between the two, or three if we want to divide it up.
6 uses.
Yeah,
That should be more than enough.
yeah.
Cool.
He's also willing to cast the spell for us to send us to this location if we want to preserve that. 'Cause-
Okay. Well, we're not going this very moment.
No,
We
because it takes 10 hours to copy down a fifth level spell into our spellbook.
yeah.
So
Uh,
we're taking the better part of today just for both of us to copy the spell down.
Yeah. Also, we need to get Wendell. He's a good friend of ours, settled. We're going to
Yeah.
introduce him to another good friend of ours, get him settled for a length of time that we're going to be away.
Yeah.
So, probably about another day.
Yeah, we're also going to need supplies.
Yeah, we're going to have to pick up some food. We're going to have to make sure we have all the necessary ingredients. But we've been doing that quite a bit, so I don't think there's any real prep that we need to do besides that.
No. Yeah, we were preparing to take on a dragon.
Yeah, and didn't actually use up most of it. So yeah, that's the plan.
All right.
So why don't we tell him that we'll meet him? Well, this is evening now, I suppose. 10 hours
Yes.
later.
Yes.
Said day after tomorrow morning. We'll
All
come
right.
meet.
So after we finish copying down the spell in our spell book, we head back.
Yep.
And you, all right. The following morning, you said you wanted to get Wendell settled.
Yep. Take Wendell to Rosemary's Time and Clockwork.
Yeah, he clearly knows the shop.
Yep.
One of the reasons he didn't set up his own magic shop in Lyria is because this he would have been competing with her. And
Yep. So if they know each other, that's great. Just want to make sure that
well, he definitely knows of her.
yeah. So make sure they're well taken care of.
Yeah.
Let her know that he's a good friend of ours, if that makes any difference at all.
All right. What exactly are
And
you asking of her, though?
nothing. Just
Uh,
keep an eye out for him. Uh, he's very useful. If you could use him maybe an employee or whatever. Uh, he's a great
okay.
guy.
All right.
They figure it out on your own.
They'll figure that out as best they can.
The only other thing I want to ask of her is, does she have any mandrake root and or healing potions for sale?
Uh, let's see. Does she has three regular sized mandrake roots for sale at the moment.
Okay, I will buy them. They're what, 50 each?
Yes. Yeah, and you are going to have to spend money for those. The our goodwill towards getting free stuff because of all the treasure we donated to Lyria, that stopped. Yeah.
The other thing is, does she have any healing potions?
That's a yes. She has five healing potions in stock at the moment. Three
I buy.
regulars
Hmm?
and two graders.
I buy them.
Okay. All right.
How much is that total?
Well, that's a hundred. That's basic. All right, so it's 150 for three. Actually, no, it's yeah, it's 450 for the potions. So 600 gold pieces total.
All right.
I'll pay for half of that. So 300 each.
All right. Because we're going to need healing for sure.
Yep. So you want to divide the potions up now?
I don't know how many I have, so we'll do that later.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure we both have roughly the same number of healing potions.
All right then.
All right. And that's basically it. All that's left is to spend a bit more time with Wendell, have our evening meal, get a good night's sleep.
Yep. And head out tomorrow to,
Yep.
well, first of all, get possibly our last look at Lyria.
Yep. Go into Maldra's
Yeah.
quarters and then teleport to. Want me to click over to the last image?
You can if you want, yeah.
For those who remember,
Here.
This is where we're going to end up.
Yep. All right. So, as prepared as we are, Malzra, having studied the runes that we gave him a copy of,
Yep.
we used his own personal teleportation circle in his private quarters,
Yep.
cast a spell, we step into the circle, and we are teleported off towards Vyrn's Run in this abandoned, ruined laboratory on its outskirts.
Took us a month of adventuring and battling to get from Vern's Run to Lyria.
Yeah, we're
Got
going
back
back in six
6 seconds.
seconds. And that is where we are going to call it for tonight.
Yep.
Bit of a short session.
But yeah,
Yeah. However,
it's
we're
going to get busy.
it's gonna get busy because yeah, we're up against an entire branch of the court here.
An entire army.
Entire
Plus,
army. Yes, this is bigger than anything we've ever dealt with in
yeah,
any of our campaigns.
I am so looking forward to it.
I hope we're prepared enough for this, but we will see. And it's gonna get even more interesting because we're now using our new healing rules.
Yep.
All right.
Well, we always like try to play smart, so now we're going to be tested.
Yeah, now we have to. Here's a major test. And like I said, probably bigger than the dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. And with that, thank you for watching, everyone. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please join us here again next time as we head off back to Vern's Run to once again deal with the court,
Yeah.
but on a scale for which we have never had to face before.
Well, I assume, I mean, so far we've dealt with individual sorcerers to the tune of 8. Oh, sorry, no, those two together once.
Yeah.
I suspect it's going to be almost that many just in this one little section of the world.
Yes, well, we'll get to that next time.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone.